Hello, my name is Danny Joy, and I'm an ukulele teacher at the Starlight Ukulele Academy, as well as one of the producers for the Reno Ukulele Festival. We've gone online with Zoom, and so I'm creating this video to help our students and others with a little bit of orientation on a very handy device to help you practice your music at home. It's called Guitar Pro. Guitar Pro is an application on your computer. It's what Perry and I use to create our music. So when you get your PDFs with the music notation and the tablature, that was created in Guitar Pro. Once we create it in Guitar Pro, we share the files with all of our students. So if you know how to use the file for your practice time, then you're going to find your improved skill level is just going to shoot through the roof. So I'm going to walk you through some of the finer points of how to use Guitar Pro as a student to get the most out of your practice. Once you've downloaded the application onto your computer, then anytime you come upon a Guitar Pro file, all you have to do is double click it and it will open up. So once it's opened, it looks like this. Here's an example of my Fleetwood Mac arpeggios class. So what we have before us is an active PDF, basically. It's a PDF that can sing back to you. We can change the tempo and we can loop things around. So let's get started. The top of the list here, as you can see, there's a lot of little buttons, but the good news is I only know how to use maybe a quarter of these and I can get by just fine. So I'm going to show you how to do what I know how to do, and that's all you'll need to get started. First off, there's a play button at the top in the center. I don't use that button. I press my space bar instead. So once I've highlighted a note where I want the start play to begin, I just press my space bar like this. Press it again and it will stop. So there's a quick little tip for you. Use the space bar to play and stop. Now you might have noticed that it didn't have a count in when it began. You can turn on your count in and you turn on and off your metronome just up here at the top in the center. My little metronome is highlighted blue. If I click it again, it turns off. My little count in looks like a little hourglass. If I touch it again, it turns off again. We find it really useful to have the metronome and the count in. So I do recommend it. Now, what if you wanted to change the volume? Let's say you're learning to play bass and you've gotten an entire score from us that has the bass and 2 ukulele parts and a baritone part and a shaker-lele part. You want to be able to hear the bass above all else. So here's what you do. Up in the top left corner of my screen here for Guitar Pro, there are 3 little boxes. One has a line to the left, one has a line to the center, and one has a line to the right. Those are my menus. Those are going to be something that you really want to understand how they work. So if you can see here, I click the left menu. When I click it, my little menu pops up. This is my menu for creating the music. We'll do a completely separate tutorial for that. You won't need anything in the left palette. If I open up my right palette, now I'm looking at track and song. There are various things I can do here, rename the track, change this or that. You don't need to do any of that, so don't even worry about the right side. The only one that you're going to need to know as a student is the bottom menu. So when I click that bottom panel, my little option with all of my tracks pops up. Now for this song, I just did 1 track, so all you see is ukulele track. But there's my volume. When you open up one of Perry's files, you'll see multiple tracks. Then you can choose which tracks you want to be louder or quieter so that you won't be distracted by the ukulele part when you're trying to learn the bass section. Okay, so you can play and you can change the volume. Let's talk about the tempo. Tempo is up here at the top panel, the little music note equals 70. Now I could click on that, but before I do, look at where my cursor is. My cursor is all the way over here on the and of 4 of the first measure. So if I click on that metronome to change the tempo right now, it's going to change the tempo from where I had my cursor. I've made this mistake so many times, so I'm going to bring it to your attention first. Make sure you touch the first note before you mess with the timing. Another way that you can change the tempo instead of going up to the top is just by clicking on the little timing signal here. So when I double click on that, a little panel pops up. I'm not sure that you can see it, but it's a little gray panel, very self-explanatory. And my number 70.0 is highlighted. So I could change that to 120 beats per minute. I click OK. You don't even have to click apply. And now if I take off my counter so that we can make this quick, I'll start there at the beginning and press my space bar, and you will hear that the tempo has sped up. The final thing that you're going to want to know how to use on Guitar Pro as a student is the looping button. What I would have done without looping, I don't know. Looping a small section, in musical terms, we call that fortifying. So if you have a section that you're really concerned about, you can't switch very smoothly from this chord to this chord, let's say, then you can stop, you can highlight just by using my mouse. I would highlight the section that I want to repeat. And now when I press the space bar, because up in the top panel, my little circular arrow is highlighted. That's my looping arrow. That must be highlighted or else it will not loop. It will just begin playing. So because that is highlighted, watch what happens. Pressing the space bar now. And it will just keep going and going until I tell it to stop. The final tip that I can think of to give you for Guitar Pro to use as a student is if you didn't want to keep the format as a PDF, 8.5 by 11, with several sheets that go by, you can click on something called parchment. So I could go up to the very top menu, very, very, very top menu of my computer where it says Apple Guitar Pro. I click on View, and when I go down, it says Page Vertical, Page Horizontal, Page Grid. If I click on Page Parchment, then what's going to happen is it's just going to give me one long song. It's not broken up now into 2 pages anymore. If I try to print this, it's going to print it on 2 pages. The final piece of advice I can give you is if you accidentally make a change of any kind, then use your back button. On Mac computers, it's Command Z. Command Z. That will always take you back a step from what you just did. When you are on your PC, it's Control Z. I hope that you found this video useful. Please comment below if you have any more questions. I'd be happy to do a part 2 if there's anything that I didn't cover in this video as a student that you would like to learn. If you'd like to learn more about the Starlight Ukes Academy, you can go to starlightukes.com. We have an online school. We teach 5 lessons a week between Perry and I. Roots music, modern music, ukulele, bass. We've got fingerstyle. We've got beginner class. And we love what we do. And we do it all day, every day. So if you think that you could benefit from learning a little more, then check down in the description for a coupon for your first month of lessons. Finally, we do host the Reno Ukulele Festival coming up here in October. So you can go to renoukulelefestival.com or renouke.com and check out the information there. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you have a beautiful day. And if there's anything that I can do to help you in your musical journey, please feel free to reach out. support@starlightukes.com. Perry and I will be happy to answer any questions that you have. We hope that you have a beautiful new year and a very sparkly day.